Access to broadband internet service is something that many of us take for granted. But for others in rural America, getting that service has not been easy. The Small Company Coalition is now trying to find a solution. President and CEO J Kail joins us live to talk more about this. Good morning, James.
Good morning.
James, tell us more about the importance of getting broadband service available to everybody in rural America.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you and your audience for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of the small companies and the rural customers across America, because this is a very important issue. The Small Company Coalition was formed to bring attention to the FCC's blatant disregard for the small companies and rural customers we serve. And our ultimate goal is to hold the FCC accountable, get the word out, let people know in D.C. and in rural America what the FCC has been trying to do here with this order that they issued back in November of 11. And, you know, if the FCC has its way, if this order isn't changed, it's going to impact the quality of services in rural America, which I know is very important to, people living in rural America, because, it's even more important, I think, to have broadband service in rural America than it is in the city. But again, we're trying to get that message out. It's very complicated, very difficult to cover in such a short period, but I'll do my best to get as much information across as I can during the allotted time.
What are some of the difficulties and challenges that you're seeing as you deal with the FCC?
Well, we are up against a very powerful, well-connected agency, and they have earned a reputation for being very difficult to deal with. We are small companies. We don't have a lot of clout. We don't throw around large amounts of lobbying dollars. We're up against large carriers who do lobby in D.C., spending millions of dollars, and really the FCC has done their bidding with this order. As a result of this order, it's shifted money, it's reduced funding for universal service to the small companies to provide, that has been working very well since the universal concept was implemented back in the 1930s. It's making services affordable in rural America, and that's how the broadband network has been built by small companies like us across the country. It's the large carriers that have neglected those areas. In any event, we're running up against this very powerful agency, and we're trying to get working through our congressional reps, and there's a lot of reluctance to stand up against the FCC because they're very well connected, and they're very arrogant, and they tend to disregard us because we're small and we don't have the kind of clout. It's all really about accountability. We're trying to call them into account. They've said that their order would create between 500,000 jobs, connect over 7 million rural Americans to a broadband network. Well, guess what? That's not happening, and guess what? No one's really calling them into account to see how they're doing, how this order is creating these jobs. But anyway, we're up against, it's a David and Goliath situation. We're dealing with people that have forgotten about rural America and the issues that are important to rural America when it comes down to providing quality communication services to rural America. So it's really like, to sum it up, they have a let them eat cake mentality. Some people, and this is on both sides of the aisle, this is really not a political issue here, it's on both sides of the aisle. If there's an attitude in D.C. that if rural dwellers want high-speed internet, let them move to the city. I mean, you choose to live in rural America, and that's just as a result, you don't have access to the high-speed broadband service, which is very important to the backbone of what folks are doing in rural America.
James, in just a few seconds, what can rural residents do to assist in this effort?
What they can do would be for one thing, you can get more information by visiting our website at www.smallcompanycoalition.com. There's a form on there, some feedback. You contact their U.S. senators and congressmen and women, express their concern, and ask them to investigate the actions of the FCC. Again, you can obtain more information by visiting our site again. That is www.smallcompanycoalition.com. There's also will be a form on there to try to solicit some feedback from your audience, and if they have any specific concerns, they can bring them to our attention. Really, we like to believe that we're taking the voice of rural America to D.C., and we're not just representing small companies. We're representing the people living in rural America, which is critical. I mean, you guys we're all providing a valuable service to the country here. I mean, it's just not all about, again, we got to bring that message to D.C. and in the urban areas, letting them know how much they depend on the rural people living in rural America.
James, thank you for your time today.
I appreciate it. Thank you, and I want to thank your audience for the chance to get this important information out.
Pleasure to visit with you. Have a great day. James Kail, CEO and President of the Small Company Coalition.